Everyone, welcome to Primary Market Chatter brought to you by Sunday Investing. This is our November 4th week IPOs edition where we are reviewing the two IPOs which are coming next week. We have taken one SME and one Mainboard. SME Mother Nutri Foods and Mainboard Sudeep Pharmaceuticals. There are quite a few companies on the SME side which we have missed. There's no particular reason for them. It's just that they were either too small or there was no QIB component, etc. So we didn't feel like reviewing them. But having said that, this is not a list, comprehensive list. Definitely you do you and look at all the companies. हम लोग दो ही company की बात करेंगे. Before we actually get started, just want to highlight that we are not SEBI registered research analysts, so definitely do not take whatever we are saying on face value and do your due diligence. And उसके basis पे ही आप अपना decision लें. Second thing which I want to highlight is that if you haven't joined us on YouTube for some reason, the link is in the pinned comments. Go ahead and join us on YouTube as well. And again, this episode should be rather short, but yeah, we'll probably start with Mother Nutri Foods. Let me quickly set it up. Incorporated in 2022, company is a B2B peanut butter manufacturer offering more than 10 flavors and over 5 variants of peanut butter. It also has its own brand. The company markets its products under the brand Spread and Eat, which is sold in international markets such as Libya, Dubai, and more recently Japan. So peanut butter की company है. IPO की बात करूं तो 40 crores का IPO है. 32 crores fresh है, 20% OFS है, 8 CR का. Market cap 147 crores per company, 40 crores raise कर रही है. FY25 financials की बात करूं तो 90 crores का top line था, 6.5 crores का bottom line है. So FY25 के basis पे 25 times आ रही है, 23 times, something like that. But yeah, now we should start looking at FY26, I guess, क्योंकि we are almost 8 months in FY26. In terms of LM, the LM is Marwadi Chandrana Intermediaries. So with that, over to you, Sachin, to talk about Mother Nutri Foods.
Am I audible?
Yep.
All right. So this Mother Nutri Foods, so they are based out of Gujarat and primarily operating in this B2B segment. This company came into incorporation in 2022, but this business already has some partnership firm behind the company. So that was operating for a while, but they transitioned to this company in 2022. And from there on, they are now a publicly limited company and coming up with an IPO. So what they primarily do is they offer this peanut butter, where they supply more than 10 to 12 flavors, different types of flavors: chocolate, honey, cinnamon, crunchy ho gaya, natural, high protein, etc. And they also supply types of peanuts as well, different types of peanuts, salted, sugar, and without salt, etc. So what their business model is, they primarily operate in this private labeling, that is around 97 to 98% of their revenues, where they supply to hypermarkets, supermarkets, both in domestic as well as in overseas as well. Around 20 to 22 countries they supply their products. That includes South Africa, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Germany, Mexico. So that quality is there for the export. So that is with this export side. And for the domestic, they have their same B2B vertical, and for domestic they also supply to their own brand, which is this Spread and Eat, which they have slowly transitioned to overseas as well. Like recently they have started Japan as well. Before that they sent to Libya and Dubai as well in the UAE region. That is around 3 to 4% of the revenues currently, their own brand. They have a manufacturing facility in Gujarat only, which is around 8,000 metric tons per annum, and that is utilizing at around 95% for this H1 FY26. So almost fully utilized for their manufacturing capacity. And their peanut butter dominates majority of the revenues. Export is around 33 to 35% of the revenues, and the rest is from this domestic sales. Now coming to their financials, in FY23 they did around 76 CR of revenue with 4% EBITDA. In FY24 we saw a marginal increase to 81 CR, but the EBITDA showed a good jump to around 11%, because that got benefited from lower peanut prices in FY24, as the management says, and they got some new more orders from their existing clients as well as the new clients that they onboarded for both domestic and the overseas markets. So that helped them to increase these margins. In FY25 they got some slight push, but the capacity was already running at 80-90%, so not much great push. So revenues were around 90 cr only, with similar EBITDA margins and slightly higher PAT to around 7%. Now they have also given figures for H1 FY26, where they did 50 cr of revenues, and we saw some slight improvement in EBITDA and PAT as well. So the rationale is same, like the more orders they are getting from their existing client only, and they are also representing into some overseas exhibitions as well for their products. So that is the thing that is helping them to get higher revenues, given that the capacity is not much left out to be utilized. But we see that the margins have increased, but the cash flows are not supporting this margin thesis, be it for FY25 or be it for this 6 months only. 6 months can be ignored, but for FY25 and before that as well, the cash flows are not supporting the margin. So that is one thing to note. So cash is getting stuck into the business for now. Now they have said that they are not using these funds for working capital only, because they wanted to increase their capacity, which around 23 cr is they are using from the primary proceeds, apart from the IPO, and that will nearly double their existing capacity. So from 8,000 metric tons they would go around 15,200 metric tons, and they already have the land which they have taken on lease from the promoter himself, and they are telling that the new facility should come live in H2 of next year, H2 FY27. So now coming to the pricing, it's near 23 times FY25, and probably if we annualize the half yearly numbers, it's near 13 to 40 times FY26. And for the peers, they have not shown any peers in the RHP, but we can see many players in Gujarat itself, which are unlisted, that are operating in this peanut butter thing, and many other giant FMCG players also offer this peanut butter, a single product that they are offering. So no shortage of competition in this segment. Also, given whatever the pricing it's currently coming at, it looks fairly priced for a company operating in this commodity and foods thing. They also had a pre-IPO done in April 25 of this year at around 90 cr of valuation. Some HNIs were available there. Anchor list is yet to arrive. Let's see if it when it comes. Lead manager is Marwani Chandrana. Okay to decent record so far in this fiscal. Now coming to the final thing, no interviews or interactions, so to assess the management and their intent or future plans. So that is some hindrance, you can say, for now, because nothing is available online. Also there is scope to increase their own brand business, but so far it's not visible. Around 2 to 3% only the revenues are coming from own brand, so that is minimal so far. So it hasn't got the traction yet it should receive. So for now, maybe the lack of other issues may get the subscription that this issue requires, but personally not interested to apply. So that is all.
Got it. Are you able to hear me here
Yes,
from this account?
yes, yes, yes.
Got it. एक दो चीजें यार इसमें जो business है, is it from peanut processing? Like most of the business is also from peanut processing and not really from the sale of peanut butter, right? And second thing, the own brand is just very small, like 2-3%, right?
Right. प्रोसेसिंग तो है, मतलब दे प्रोक्योर दिस रॉ पीनट्स, फिर उनको प्रोसेस करके एंड देन दे सप्लाई टू दिस B2B क्लाइंट्स फॉर वाइट लेबलिंग एंड प्राइवेट लेबलिंग, और बाकी फिर वो अपना ओन ब्रांड में भी दे सप्लाई 2 to 3% ओनली फॉर नाउ.
Got it.
मतलब
एंड
ट्रेडिंग
लाइक ग्रोथ भी नहीं है राइट बिजनेस में, पिछले 3 साल से फ्लैट ही
फ्लैट
है.
ही है, फ्लैट ही है, क्योंकि
तो फिर कैपेक्स क्यों कर रहा है?
क्योंकि फ्लैट इसलिए तो केपेक्स कर रहा है ना, ऑलमोस्ट
अच्छा. ओ.
95% यूटिलाइजेशन पे कैपेसिटी, सो दे नीड न्यू फैसिलिटी टू ऑपरेट.
ओ वाओ. ओके. Interesting business, honestly. Like growth nahi hai, so I don't know how to value it. But again, somehow I still feel that this will do okay. This will not do that bad. This would do like that trade uno sort of a business where in short term thoda bahut shayad paisa ban jayega. But again, it's risky. But let's see how the anchor book comes and then how the subscription is. I might take a punt and take one lot here or there. But again, there are quite a few things which are off with respect to this business. One is your agri processing. Like if you think of peanut processing is 40% of the business, that is agri processing, right? Not really a D2C brand. And D2C brand part is just 2% of business, which is very hard to scale as well. The other part doesn't have any business, B2B business, peanut, white labeling.
I remember there was this company called Focus, which was trying to build a t-shirt brand in low margin and used to white label for different shirts brand. It never flew, right? So similarly, this is also trying to do white labeling of peanut butter, which has just grown. The segment has grown so much. So that is one comparable to kind of look at. But again, not very sure how the market will look at it. The markets are also iffy right now, but I still think if the subscription is low, which is opposite to what we say, if the subscription is low, I feel short term में थोड़ा बहुत move आ सकता है. We'll look at that and I might just take one lot just for the heck of it, just for applying. But yeah, let's see how it evolves. None of this, what we are saying, is a qualified opinion. You look at everything which you are doing by yourself. It's just what we are doing is kind of sharing it. On that note, moving forward, and again want to highlight that I've joined through my other account. We'll only be doing the spaces going forward from the Sunday investing account, because Mira account, the reach is getting so less simply because I keep dumping all the YouTube links on my account. So what you will see is that Sunday investing account would be used a lot more for all spaces, for all promoter interviews. We have done one promoter interview, a super interesting company. Today we'll put it over the next 2-3 days. We are doing one more promoter interview tomorrow. So good things coming up, and both of these companies are hot in terms of like how people are looking up to them. So it's good to be able to do them. But yeah, with that, let me move forward and talk about the second company. In the meanwhile, if you haven't followed this page, please go ahead and follow Sunday Investing channel as well on Twitter. And then the second company we'll be talking about is called Sudeep Pharma. Setting up Sudeep Pharma, incorporated in 1989, company is a manufacturer of pharmaceutical excipients, food grade minerals and specialty nutrition ingredients serving over 100 countries. It operates 6 manufacturing facilities with a combined production capacity of 50,000 metric ton, specializing in minerals such as calcium, iron, magnesium, zinc, potassium and sodium. So फार्मा कंपनी है, एक्सीपियंट्स वगैरह बनाती है. Somehow it's a very small race, so because of which there's not a lot of demand also, which is seen in the primary markets because it is on the main board. Setting up the IPO, it's a 895 crore IPO, 895 crore का IPO है. Surprisingly, just 95 crores is fresh. That's the lowest fresh I have seen. 800 crore का OFS है. Usually what I see is this level पे लोग पूरा ही OFS कर लेते हैं, but they have done 90% OFS and 10% fresh. I'm sure when Sachin is reviewing the company, he'll not like it simply because he'll say कि OFS है, so महंगा है. But yeah, I also saw the pricing. It seems slightly high to me as well. In terms of the market cap, it's coming at a market cap of 6698 crores. So 6700 crores पे आ रही है. FY25 financials की बात करूं तो 511 crores का revenue है and 140 crores का PAT है. So coming at like 50p FY25. और जो रेवेन्यू है वो 500 करोड़ के अराउंड स्टेगनेंट इन द लास्ट 2-3 years एंड पैट बहुत बढ़ गया है. वुड हैव टू सी व्हाट दे हैव डन. Maybe Sachin, you can cover it when you are talking about it. In terms of the LM is ICICI and IIFL. So over to you to, by the way, this is a very old company. I think I had spoken about it, right? This is like incorporated in 1989, so older than me. So over to you, Sachin, to talk about Sudeep Pharma.
All right. So they are operating since 1990. This Sudeep Pharma, and they are based out of Vadodara. And what they primarily operate in this pharmaceutical excipients, nutrition ingredients are also there, and now they have also ventured into this specialty products. So excipient basically क्या है? It's like a helper in the जो भी आप medicine खाते हैं, तो उसमें excipient is type of a helper. Like you have an active ingredient in the medicine, and then we have an excipient. So excipient, what it does it, वो उस दवाई को आपके बॉडी में you get the better utilization of that medicine into your body. So that is the whole purpose of excipient. And now what this company does is they have two primary verticals for now. One is this pharmaceutical food and nutrition vertical, which is around 65 to 66% of the revenues, where they supply excipients like calcium carbonate, iron phosphate. Now iron phosphate is there where this company has some good market hold. I'll come on that later. And the rest 33 to 34% of the revenues come from the specialty ingredients. So what they have done is in around FY22 to FY23, they incorporated a subsidiary Sudeep Nutrition, where now they are focusing on this nutraceutical segment, which is slowly growing and gaining popularity, where they supply this premixes हो गए, high purity blends हो गए, जो जिम वगैरह में जो जिम के प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं उसमें यूज होते हैं, and there are also granulated minerals हो गए, and some dietary supplements भी they are supplying, and some infant and clinical nutrition etc as well. So all of these components come in under this specialty ingredient segment, which is around 33 to 34% of the revenues. The business is mainly B2B only, with over 100 to 110 products that they are supplying as of this quarter one of FY26, and they supply to more than 100 countries as well. Export is around 59 to 60% of their revenues. Now, what they do is they are one of the largest to supply in terms of volume for this categories, for these excipients like calcium carbonate and iron phosphate as well. Also, this iron phosphate, which is a key component of this infant nutrition, like जो infants के लिए जो भी food रहते हैं उसमें iron phosphate is the key component, where Sudeep is supposedly the largest producer in Southeast Asia, and it dominates around 50 to 60% of the organized market share as well. The client list has good names. We see Mankind Pharma, Intas, we have Alembic B is also there, Pfizer is also there. That for that new infant segment, they have Danone is also there as well, and they are claiming around 80 to 85% of repeat business from FY25 to FY26, which was earlier around 50 to 60%. Now that has slowly gained traction as well. Now it is around 80% plus. Coming to their capacity, they are utilizing around 50% of their existing capacity, and they are already doing one greenfield capex from internal accruals, which should come live by the quarter 4 of this year, or probably in the quarter 1 of FY27, and that will take the total capacity from the existing to the new greenfield capex to around 110 to 120,000 tons. Now, what they are saying that their core business, this pharmaceutical and this food and nutrition, it has volumes and they have scaled well in the volumes as well. But after the COVID normalization came in, the pricing of their products and the excipients that they sell to these B2B companies, that came down. So although volume grew, लेकिन क्योंकि pricing कम हो गया, so the revenue scale was not much visible in the revenues for FY23 and for FY24 and beyond. So that is one reason why their revenue CAGR is not very good. Now coming to the actual financials, in FY23 they did around 438 CR of revenues with 23% EBITDA. And in this year specifically, the EBITDA is hit by one-time ESOP expenses for some of their promoter that was hit the profit and loss. The normal EBITDA and the stable EBITDA range that they have said is around 35 to 40%. For in FY25, they came back to this normal range of EBITDA with around 465 CR of revenues, but the PAT actually doubled from FY23's number, and this doubling of PAT came especially from that specialty segment that they managed to scale when they started in FY22, and they slowly gained traction in FY23, and finally FY24 they hit that double PAT mark with this specialty segment. In FY25, they again did around 511 CR of revenues, similar EBITDA margin, and around 27% of PAT. The specialty segment stabilized in this year, so not a huge jump in PAT in this year. Till quarter 1 FY26, they have done around 130 CR of revenues with similar margins. Now, coming to the positives of this company, that they have already pivoted to this specialty segment in FY22, and this segment is growing very much faster than the traditional pharmaceutical and food nutrition segment, and it also offers better margins, around 45 to 50% better margins. And this company claims that they already also have own proprietary tech for this specialty segment, which only few players in the European region and the US have. So that is their moat here. Also, this company holds a good number of international certifications. US FDA हो गया, WHO GMP हो गया, CEP certification from Europe. That is also a high entry barrier for such pharma companies. They do not necessarily hedge their forex thing, so that has already seen some hit in the margins in the past, around 5 to 10% over the span of 2 to 3 years. So that is one risk when we see that their export revenue is around 60 to 65%. Also, their raw material, they are saying that they are doing more spot transactions rather than long-term contracts for all of the raw materials that go into making these excipients. Also, since they are a R&D company, so R&D expenditure is high, and they have executed around 400 plus products in the last 3 years. So if the expenditure actually works and the R&D hits, so then the effect is good. But if it doesn't work, then the effect is not so good on the financials of the company. Now coming to the pricing of the IPO, apart from the OFS, around 95 CR is primarily for capex and the expansion of this iron phosphate capacity. So in this iron phosphate capacity, now what they are doing, they already have good market leadership. Now they again with the new subsidiary, and they have Sudeep Advanced Materials, it is called, which they launched just in FY25 only. What they will use is they will use this iron phosphate to make batteries, that lithium iron phosphate batteries, which will be then used for this BESS segment and electronic vehicle segment. So iron phosphate का batteries में क्या काम है कि they make the batteries cheaper and उनकी life वो बढ़ा देते हैं iron phosphate for this lithium ion batteries. And it also makes that batteries catch less fires, so fire भी उसमें कम आएगा, it will be more long lasting, and the cost will be also less. So it is generally an push from the company side to this vertical of BESS and EV segment, which is pushed to this energy vertical that is slowly scaling across. Now, historically, what they have said that we do around 2.5 to 3x of their asset turnover. लाइक जो भी उनका एसेट का ग्रॉस ब्लॉक है उस पे वो 2.5 to 3x करते हैं रेवेन्यूज. They have said in the interviews as well. So now currently we see that around from whatever their existing is and from the greenfield that is coming in, and we club the proceeds from the IPO into the capex, so 400 से 500 crore उनका हो जाएगा asset block. And in that we can, if we just multiply the historical figure, we get a peak revenue potential of around 1400 to 1500 CR, and that will slowly come in as the capacity gets utilized for this new facilities as well in around maybe 2 to 3 years. That is not specific, but जैसे जैसे capacity peak पे जाएगी that revenues will flow in. Now, specific to a pharma company, PE is not a very good multiple to check at. We saw Anthem also came at a very high PE, but PE is not a very good metric. So if we look at price to sales, it's near 13 times FY25, near 13 to 14 times FY25. And given that the new capex is not coming in live in this year, probably near 10 to 11 times FY26. Now, actually, when the new greenfield capex comes live in the next year and will slowly gain the utilization as well, it could be below 10 times FY27 on price to sales basis. On EV EBITDA basis, which is also a good metric, it is near 33 times FY25 and probably 24 to 25 times FY27 when the new facility comes live in and it starts giving effect to the financials. No peer listed in India. Sigachi etc. is there, and they supply very basic excipients like carboxymethyl cellulose हो गया या CMC वगैरह हो गया. So they generally get lower valuations. Global peers are there, like one Balchem is there, one German company DSM Fermin is also there. These global peers have much larger bases, around 100 times more than revenue than this Sudeep Pharma, and these generally trade near 5 to 7 times price to sales and probably 10 to 11 times EV EBITDA. So being in India and getting the scarcity premium and valuation, so that is seen in this Sudeep Pharma as well. Anchors were decent enough. Probably all DI and mutual funds were there. SBI हो गया, ICICI Prudential, Axis, White Oak, etc. Inam Group was also there. Now coming to the final thing, I think that valuations are not cheap. Could have been cheaper, but because scarcity premium and there are no listed peers specifically for this company, so that is one thing that is factored into the valuations. Also, I think that the issue size could have more fresh issue, or else it could have been pure OFS as well. So play is similar for short term only, like the recent ones that came in. Listing is for now is anyone's guess because we do not know how the market is nowadays. Also, I think that the growth is also one factor for this company because we saw that in recent IPOs like Pine Labs or Okla as well, that came with a single digit CAGR growth, which is also visible in this company, at least for the short term for FY26. For FY27, maybe they can scale better. So personally, I think I will be applying to this. That's all.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Sachin, for this. But yeah, one question. आप बोल रहे हो कि पीएस जो बाहर हैं वो भी 5-7 टाइम सेल्स पे ट्रेड करते हैं.
Right.
Okay. And how complex is the product? Like इंडिया में कोई पीयर क्यों नहीं है? Like again, just trying to understand.
क्योंकि फर्स्ट इज द सर्टिफिकेशन दैट दे नीड टू सर्टिफाई फ्रॉम ऑल दिस, क्योंकि यूरोप में भी दे हैव टू सप्लाई टू यूएस एज वेल. सो सबसे इनको सर्टिफिकेशन लेने, दैट इज वन थिंग. ऑल्सो जो इनका वो है रॉ मटेरियल थिंग, सो दैट इज नॉट अवेलेबल टू ऑल अदर पीयर्स या कोई और कंपनी में भी. दे ट्राई टू स्टेप इन, फर्स्ट दे हैव टू गेट सर्टिफिकेशंस. फिर उस रॉ मटेरियल एंड सप्लाई चेन पे उनको पूरा वो करना पड़ेगा, especially for that iron phosphate, where this company already holds a good amount of presence and market share. So these are a few factors that help give this Sudeep Pharma an edge.
Got it. Understood. And growth, you're saying FY26 should be flat. FY27 में कुछ capex है. Capex
Yeah.
कैसे करेंगे?
Capex, like उनका greenfield already running है, that is around 50,000 tons. So that should come live in this quarter 4 तक आ जाए live, या probably in quarter 1 of next year. So उसके जैसी नई capacity आएगी, and if they are able to get increased utilization from this existing one as well, so उन दोनों को combine करके the growth should be higher somewhat.
Got it. Makes sense.
अब वही है कि नो पीयर है तो वैल्यूएशन आई थिंक इज प्रीटी हाई है. चाहे आप किसी भी मैट्रिक पे देखो, प्राइस टू सेल्स हो गया या इवन ऑन ईवी एबिटा, एंड इशू साइज इज स्मॉल एज वेल, सो सब्सक्रिप्शन का तो इशू नहीं होगा.
हाँ, सब्सक्रिप्शन तो हो जाएगा यार, बट आगे क्या होगा पता नहीं. एंड अगेन दैट्स बीन द फ्लेवर ऑफ द मंथ, राइट? लाइक ऑलवेज कंफ्यूज कि आगे क्या होगा. So let's see. Again, I haven't read the company yet, but would probably be avoiding
मेरा
for
आवाज आ
now.
रहा है?
आगे देखते हैं. Yeah.
Actually,
Yes, Tanmay.
I had few questions and I had few things to add also. So, like, इसका भी कैपेसिटी यूटिलाइजेशन कितना है फॉर 25 का?
50%
तो यार
50-55%.
50% है तो नया केपेक्स करने का सेंस बन रहा है.
नया केपेक्स में दे आर प्राइमरली टारगेटिंग दिस आयरन फॉस्फेट वाले जो.
हाँ, बट उसका कितना ही कर लेंगे यार. रीजन बीइंग, आई फील आफ्टर 3 years वर्ल्ड इज मूविंग टुवर्ड्स सोडियम आयन. तो इनको तो 2-2.5 साल लग ही जाएगा सेटअप करने में. सो तब तक तो ऑब्सोल्यूट हो जाएगी. सेम हैज बीन सीन विद मल्टीपल इंडस्ट्रीज इन पास्ट ऑल्सो. जनरली 3 साल का एक साइकिल होता है. दीज गाइज विल आर गोइंग लाइव एट द एंड ऑफ दैट साइकिल. तो पता नहीं, मतलब इज दैट रियली गोइंग टू हेल्प?
लेकिन लिथियम आयरन पे अभी, लिथियम आयरन बैटरीज हो गई या लिथियम आयरन का जो भी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है उस पे ऑलरेडी मतलब इतना एक्सपेंस हो चुका है. तो प्रॉब्ली जो भी नया बेस का प्लेयर है या ईवी का प्लेयर है, दे वुड ट्राई टू फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटाइज लिथियम. ऑल्दो सोडियम इज अ बेटर ऑप्शन, लेकिन लिथियम को प्रायोरिटी देंगे. तो उस बेसिस पे दे आर ट्राइंग टू इंक्रीज दिस कैपेसिटी.
I'll tell you, there was an event like 18 months back, 12 to 18 months. KPIT है ना आपका लिस्टेड कंपनी, IT कंपनी, दैट हैड डेवलप्ड अ पेटेंट इन सोडियम आयन. उस दिन मेरे को याद है 15% ऊपर था इनका शेयर. वो अलग बात है कि उसके बाद किसी ने उस टॉपिक पे बात नहीं की. डोंट नो व्हाट आर द रीजंस, बट द डे द थिंग केम कि कुछ सोडियम आयन में पेटेंट बनाया है, दैट स्टॉक हैड डन लाइक क्रेजी. आई रिमेंबर दैट.
पॉसिबल.
और एक चीज मैंने और देखी कि यार इनका लाइक लेट्स से देयर 50%, ठीक है, नया सेगमेंट को बढ़ाना चाहते हैं, बट पिछले 3 साल में तो एग्जिस्टिंग सेगमेंट में कोई ग्रोथ नहीं है. द रीजन हियर हैज बीन कि द कमोडिटी प्राइसेस हैड बीन फॉलन बाय रफली 30% ऑफ द विटामिन्स, एंड आई हैव जनरली सीन द प्राइसिंग व्हेन इट इज ड्रिवन बाय कमोडिटी साइकिल. जनरली इनको मल्टीपल नहीं मिलते हैं. लाइक दिस इज माय लाइक वो छोटा सा पहले देखा हुआ.
नहीं, वो तो सही, वो तो विजिबल ही है जो उनका.
30% गिरना इज नॉट अ स्मॉल थिंग. 5-10-15% इज फाइन, 30% इज क्रेजी.
कोविड यूफोरिया जब सेटल होगा तो प्राइसेस ऐसे ही फॉलो होंगे.
And one thing from the company end, so I feel this point was not covered. In I guess Q1 of this financial year, these guys have acquired a company based out of Ireland, which is one of the largest company in Europe for infant nutrition. तो उसके नंबर्स Q2, Q3, Q4 में आएंगे. सो आई फील वहां से लाइक आई डोंट नो द नंबर्स, अगर पता भी होंगे तो मैंने देखे नहीं है वो. आई नो टेक आउट दोज नंबर्स टू नाइट. तो आई फील वहां से 10% आ जाएगी, 5-10% ऑर्गेनिक कर लेंगे, बट स्टिल 20% ग्रोथ भी मैं मानू. ना स्टिल फील जून टू नाउ 8-9% के और कमोडिटी प्राइसेस गिर चुके हैं, तो यार वो ब्लेंडेड लेवल पे तो 5-10% ग्रोथ है. सो मुझे तो समझा नहीं 13 टाइम्स प्राइस टू सेल्स जैसा क्या था इसमें.
वो तो हाई है ही, वो तो ओएफएस के नेचर से ही दिख रहा है ना. दे आर डूइंग.
And I'll tell one more thing. इनका जो प्रोडक्ट होता है ना, so excipient is actually the heart and so the heart and soul of the your medicine or whatever is the API, but that is just 5% of the whole product. 95% is excipient, 90 to 95%. So technically, if your product is the largest constituent of that, whatever commodity you are making, and still if you are not able to grow, मतलब this says something ना कि यार there has been and I feel China से भी इसके अंदर बहुत अच्छा competition है. So
Right.
like don't know, we are missing something. I haven't read the company much, but आज अभी रात में पढ़ूंगा मैं. I'll surely try to understand इसमें क्यों इतना महंगा है ये. Company is very fine, मतलब कोई doubt नहीं है, but valuations are making less sense to me.
वैल्यूएशंस का तो कोई आजकल है नहीं ना, वैल्यूएशंस का ऑलमोस्ट.
मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है बॉयस. लाइक बिकॉज मैंने जब भी सचिन को देखा, ये लोग शायद ओएफएस एंड से इसकी महंगी, क्योंकि ओएफएस महंगा ही आता है. तन्मय, बिकॉज यू हैव बीन रिव्यूइंग फॉर लॉन्गर टाइम, हैव यू सीन एनी ओएफएस व्हिच हैड केम चीप except for LG maybe, now that I think about
बहुत
it?
सारे यार. Mankind was damn cheap. I was extremely bullish on Mankind. I remember Global Health was another full OFS, very fine, very good company. Unicommerce was another company. So it's not necessary कि ये OFS is खराब only. Even Hyundai, for that matter, was an outstanding IPO and outstanding wealth creator. ऊपर आप नीचे से देखो तो 60% ऊपर है. Like it is in the eyes of the beholder, आप कैसे देखते हो. So it's not. I am a believer कि ओएफएस करना गुनाह नहीं है, बट अगर आपके कंपनी को जरूरत है, आप फिर भी ओएफएस कर रहे हो, तो दैट इज अ सीरियस क्राइम. Like I am that kind of a believer, but I don't feel OFS करना is a problem.
No, I have heard that enough. I was just trying to think, but yeah, Unicommerce तो किसी एंगल से चीप नहीं थी. But let's
नहीं,
leave
but
it
it
at that.
delivered. नहीं ठीक है, स्टॉक कैसा भी करे, बट कंपनी डिलीवर्ड. Like we cannot deny that. Still numbers are there. ठीक है, स्टॉक गिर गया, that's a different matter. But numbers तो थे, numbers still है.
Correct. Sagility
Mankind,
was
Global
also
Health
OFS.
are
I just got a message that Sagility was also OFS.
Sagility
तो
was
उसको तो
another OFS. I was a damn fan of this company.
उसको तो बहुत जल्दी है डाइल्यूट करने की, 50% पे ले आया है.
क्वालिटी पावर देखो कितना OFS था. OFS देखो रेट.
Got it. But yeah, that is with respect to the two companies we had to review. I still haven't made my mind on Sudeep. Would probably apply a GMP दिख रहा है. Haven't really went into much detail as well. But yeah, this is the new account where we'll be doing all the spaces as well, and we'll be posting all the YouTube links here as well. So if you haven't followed this page, please go ahead and do that. Taki, you can follow Sunday Investing page and everything in terms of updates with respect to Sunday. What we'll do is, and I understand we have been doing a few spaces on Monday. Last 3 spaces have somehow happened on a Monday. We'll come back to Sunday. It's just that the last 3 times the schedule didn't sit, and we definitely wanted to cover the companies. But yeah, with that, we are kind of towards the end of the space. We will see you back next week. Thank you so much everyone for joining.